welcome back to Mac School Prep TV. Today we are going to be diving into Chapter 3, our final chapter in our three-part series on time management. If you do not know, my name is Mackenzie Warren. I'm the founder of Mac School Prep, and before we get into the meat, I want to encourage you now to give this video a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss a beat. Alrighty, without any more delay, it's time. Let's get it. So in this video, what I'm going to be doing is giving you some pro tips and hacks for ways to manage your time more effectively. But what I do want you to keep at the back of your mind for now is that in a future video that still relates to our series on time management, we are going to be really breaking down the how-to steps for creating a homework and study schedule. So my tip number one is don't procrastinate. Break free from that habit from today forward. I mean, we've already talked about how nothing good comes from procrastination. If you don't want to find yourself in between a rock and a hard place, just go ahead and do yourself a favor and don't wait until Sunday night to start your homework, or don't wait until the last minute to even look at the instructions for a project. The key is to start planning early so that you can be in the best position possible to eat the elephant a little bit at a time. My tip number two is there is no shame in utilizing commute time, in utilizing lunch or early school arrival, utilizing early dismissal days as opportunities to knock out some of your studying, to do some of your schoolwork, or to even meet with teachers in study groups to further go over topics that you might be struggling with or just want some extra review on. And if you listen to what I'm saying and you take advantage of every little bit of time that presents itself, then I promise you that your schedule is going to free up and you will see that you're going to start having that extra free time that we were discussing in Chapter 2 of this series on time management. My tip number three is that when teachers turn you loose and give you class time to work on an assignment, use that time not to socialize, but to actually get your work done before you even leave school at the end of the day. And this same principle applies to built-in study periods that your school might have. And so what I mean by that is when I was in high school, we had a period called SSEP, or Study Skills Enrichment Period, and basically it was 30 minutes at the beginning of every single school day in which the school actually gave students time to do their homework, meet up with other students, go talk to teachers, whatever it might be, without actually being in class. Now I'd like to transition and address my tip number 4, which is have a system in place for keeping track of your to-do list. I know that might be a little bit ambiguous now. I'm merely planting the seed. In the future, we're going to really elaborate on systems of organization. We're going to be discussing planners. So for now, I just want the thoughts to start circling in your mind. Now, my tip number 5 is if you find yourself stuck on a homework problem, don't just sit there and keep looking at it. Move on to a different problem in the homework set. Maybe move on to homework for a different class, but then later come back and revisit that problem that gave you trouble with a new and fresh perspective. I also advise that you use this same strategy on tests. When you first open up the test, go about it with the mentality that you want to get the low-hanging fruit first. So what I mean by that is in your initial sweep of the test, you want to do all of the easy problems, skip the hard ones, and then later come back at the end of the test to use your brain power to address those more difficult questions. Long story short, don't waste precious time banging your head against the wall trying to figure out something that doesn't come to you immediately. Trust me, if you revisit the issue later, you're most likely going to have a new, fresh way of thinking, and the approach that you need to take is probably going to come a lot easier to you that second time around. Now let's move on to tip number 6. This one is put your time and energy where it will have the most impact on your grade. Now, don't get me wrong and think that I'm saying to completely disregard those smaller assignments. What I'm saying is be efficient with them. Now, to give you an example, because I know you like some examples, don't spend a whole bunch of time writing an English poem that you know is only going to be a completion grade, or that you know is only going to be 10% of your grade when it's all said and done. Instead, spend the minimum amount of time that you can to do that English poem, while of course still meeting the requirements of your teacher, still doing everything that your teacher asked of you, and then spend the bulk of your time maybe reading your history textbook and preparing for the upcoming multiple choice and free response exam that together are worth 70% of your grade, which is a whole lot. Basically, what I'm saying is that you want to invest the majority of your energy and the majority of your efforts into the things that are going to give you the most bang for your buck, into the things where you are going to reap the most reward. And on that note, let's go ahead and address my seventh and my final tip regarding time management. My tip 7 is don't get sucked in by time traps. You need to recognize that they are wolves in sheep's clothing. Basically, they are disguised as fun activities that will satisfy our need for immediate gratification, immediate pleasure. But they really are pitfalls that will rob us of our time, our energy, and our focus if we allow them. Some examples of time traps are cell phones, texting, social media, games, really any form of entertainment, socializing, hanging out with your friends. All of those things that I just named are distractions that serve to get you off course, to challenge your self-discipline, and to take your eyes off of the prize. When you're in work mode, you want to avoid time traps at all costs so that you aren't even tempted by them. So my suggestion to you is that you do whatever it is that you need to do to distance yourself from your kryptonite. I get distracted by my phone. So when I'm doing my schoolwork, I turn my phone off. I don't even want to hear the vibrations. I don't even want to be aware of the notifications. I don't even want to have to look at my phone. Another thing that I get distracted by is my friends. When I see them, I want to socialize because I know that, hey, I need to be getting my work done. I will isolate myself. When I get to school early in the morning, I'll find a super quiet classroom where I won't come into contact with them and they won't be able to find me. So that way I don't even feel the slightest inclination to drop what I'm doing to go and socialize with my buddies. But I don't want you to get me wrong here or misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm definitely not telling you that it's bad to indulge in the activities that bring you joy, like hanging out with your friends or playing on the computer or watching Netflix. But you need to understand that there is a time and a place to do that stuff. I'm the biggest advocate of the work hard, play hard mentality. In other words, when it's time to hit your books, when it's time to get your work done and be productive, your focus needs to be all in with those tasks. You have to avoid the time traps that are going to get you off your game. But when you've gotten all your work done, when you faithfully comply to the plan of action that you've laid out for yourself, then by all means, indulge, kick back, relax, let your hair down. But I need you to trust me when I say that if you work hard first, then reward yourself afterwards, you're gonna feel so much better and so much more confident about your decision because you'll be able to indulge in the activities that bring you joy without having any worries or burdens weighing down on your mind. And on that note of work hard first, then play hard afterwards, I want to encourage you now that if you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also hit the notification bell so that you can stay in the loop. Until our next video, see you later. Bye!